everyone, Boond Soch की ttalk train of thought with a series of an episode with Mr. Pravin Sawant, CHRO of 63 Moon Technologies Limited. In fact, he has been there for more than 18 years, rich experience into an IT. For 23 years, he has been part of an IT, and it's an excellent story to what we have covered on ttalk Boond Soch ki. Sir, welcome back to this show again. So many a time it's for the practitioners and the freshers who are looking in terms of making their career in HR which is concerned. Now the key HR metrics which are there according to your experience, can you throw some light in terms of staffing like?
See, it is a very important function for any organization to build its base. It's a very crucial function wherein unless you don't bring in the able staff, the organization will not be able to deliver. And in order to deliver in a record period of time, the staffing needs to be ramped up in a record period of time, and manpower planning plays a very important role. It's just like your production planning, manpower planning happens, and in that particular point of time, how your resources intake needs to be, and it has to be going with deeply in line with the project finance of that organization. So finance, you cannot bring in a resource which the organization may require after 6 months. So you have to bring in a resource which is productive at day one itself. Then only the organization success towards its goals. So your planning of the resource bring in, and to bring in the resources, you need to have able recruiters working with you. Post recruiter, you need to have a good interviewing team who could interview them. So interview panel has to be such that they will take the interview in a record period of time. Where in the talent crunch, generally in the current situation, the talent which is available in the market is giving interview at multiple places. You need to assess those interviews in a record period of time, negotiate and give the offer, and see to it that they join the organization in a record period of time. So staffing is a very important function for success of the organization.
And the part of the cost plays a very crucial role in that.
Indeed, cost plays a very important.
Now another key HR matrix is training like.
Okay.
So when freshers who are looking at listening to you, what you have to say on that?
I think self-training post your MBA is very important. And just expecting that the organization will give you a training is something which then you are daydreaming. Organization will give a training wherever the aspect in the overall organizational goals, wherever the training is fitting into. But self training is very important, and that self training will possibly will give you an insight as to where you are lacking. If you are lacking into relationship building, if you are lacking into confidence building measures, if you are lacking into goal setting, then the organization in your initial stage, you really cannot expect organization to give you training onto this. These trainings come through your B schools. This training comes through your own self personality development avenues, and you must assess that there are avenues available, like I joined Rotary and Rotaract. So these are the avenues which are available at your honing skills, and you should assess those avenues other than your MBA schools.
Correct. And then the practitioners who are also practicing, maybe down the line, there might be some cost as well training which is concerned. So what should be the ideal ratio of that cost like,
See, when you think about a cost, then you don't think about your future progression. I personally feel any investment which is done into self-training will fetch your result. You need to be choosy as to if there are 10 service providers, whom should you approach and what training you need to be doing. But if you know that this service provider is good and their training will bring in a lot of changes, go for that first. My submission.
Okay, and other also like key HR matrix which is there, we talk in terms of development like, so how it can be done?
I think personality development is a very loosely understood word. personality doesn't mean you need to be 5 feet 10 inches height, you need to be some build, or you need to have a very good face. Personality is a summation of confidence, interpersonal skills, communication, your agility and ability to adapt to new changes. So it is all summation of that. So there are people who may not have a good height body, but they are still excelling in their world. So development of an individual should happen and has to happen from the college days. When he or she goes to a college, sees many activities happening in the colleges. There are activities which are cultural festivals or sports avenues which are they should participate into those colleges. When it comes to your corporate sector development, you should participate in the team building activities wherever they are. Team meetings you should be participating with. When there are discussions happening, do not hold back yourself. Always ask questions, whether relevant or non-relevant. You will only understand when you ask. But do not hold yourself by not asking those questions. So whenever in difficulty, ask, meet people, and give time to solving others' problem. When you solve others' problem, you also learn through that. So that overall development happens with multiple angles.
Okay, and also in terms of an HR staff and the expenses which are concerned, so how one can control and ensure it's on right track.
Today's organizations are very cost savvy. Work from home and work from office, though may it sound like the cost has reduced because people are working from home and not attending office, the costs are still the same. So organizations are managing the staff cost as well as the capacity building cost or premises cost. Those costs are fixed costs, they are going to stay. What you need to manage is the variable cost. At the same point of time, the cost versus the revenue ratio needs to be managed. So sometimes the hard call organization needs to take, and those are implemented through HR. How the HR implements those hard calls is something which is a skill that HR needs to acquire and demonstrate.
Correct. And also in terms of retention and the quality, so what can be done over there?
I think retention happens on the relationship that you have built, as I said in the previous episode. Unless you have a strong relationship with the organization, strong bonding with the resource, and as I said, during Corona, we helped many families to stabilize their home, many families to manage their challenges. So these are the things which spread mouth to mouth. And sometimes it helps you. You never know when somebody wants to get retained, but because of their own personal issues, and finance is one of the major issue. Financial needs you really cannot hide on. So people move on many times due to financial needs. And if you have a materialistic proposition to hold back somebody onto the counter offers, and the counter offer sometimes maybe falling short of the offer that one is holding on to, still people get retained. It is because of the relationship that
developed. But I think it's a great insight in terms of key HR metrics which are thrown light for our target audience in terms of staffing, training, development, HR staff, and the expenses, compensation, rotation, and quality. I'm sure the conversation what we are having with Mr. Pravin Sawant exclusively on ttalk Boond Soch is going to help the target audience in basically understanding the practices which are there at the corporate place. Stay tuned to ttalk Boond Soch and catch up with Mr. Pravin Sawant in the next episode of ttalk Boond Soch. Thank you very much. So thanks a lot for the
My
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.